So now we are going into details of relational databases, and we will start learning SQL or SQL, which stands for Structured Query Language. So in the early times of relational databases, there were lots of brands just like today, and each brand, each software had its own language. So they had their own commands, and you need to learn them to use this specific software. But then ANSI, American National Standards Institute, proposed using a common language for all relational databases. So when you learn SQL, the language, then you can use it in many other databases or many relational databases, just like DB2, Informix, MS SQL Server, Oracle, Sybase, PostgreSQL, etc. So it is the common language used in relational databases. And there are different types of SQL languages indeed, but most commonly the basics are the same. So the SQL statements or the commands start with English terms like select, update, delete, where, etc. Of course, where is not in the beginning but in the middle of the command somewhere. So these are the main languages, but since there are a very high level of competition, different software systems, different database management systems developed their own additions to this language. So today we have TSQL, Transact SQL, or we have PLSQL. Transact SQL is for Microsoft SQL Server, and PLSQL is for Oracle database. So when you look for a job opening, you can see these terms. What they mean is, okay, you can use the basic SQL in Microsoft SQL Server or Oracle, but they have their own functions, they have their own additional commands for their databases. So they have another version of SQL. When you learn SQL, you are in a specific level which is common for all relational databases. But if you want to focus on a specific database brand like MS SQL Server or Oracle, then you have to improve yourself through these SQL types. So, as we mentioned before, SQL uses tables just like the ones we have on Word or Excel. And today we will use this simple table for our examples. Now you can see there are 5 columns and 3 rows, and the name of the table is person. SQL uses commands just like the one you see here. This one is the command. Select last name from person. Indeed, person is the name of the table. As you can see, last name is a column name. And select and from, these are the standard SQL commands. So indeed you bring together some keywords and the table specific data, and you can write your SQL statement. And this specific command brings last name column from person table. That's it. So if you take a look at this column here, Kiraz, Bohçacı, Sungur. Here you can see Kiraz, Bohçacı, and Sungur. So SQL, maybe sometimes it is very hard and complex, but in basics it is very simple because we use the keywords we know from English language. SQL has 2 parts: data manipulation language and data definition language. When you create a table on Microsoft Access or SQL Server or PostgreSQL, etc., you may use a graphical user interface, which means you can use your mouse or your touchpad and your keyboard to create the table. Okay, you go to, for example, you go to create button, then you select table, then you enter a name, then you enter the name of the columns on the screen. You can do it just like this. In other databases, there are different GUIs, graphical user interfaces. But basically, when you make an operation using the graphical user interface, indeed it is converted to a language in the back side of your computer. So when you create a table or when you create a column, this is called data definition language. You use data definition language to make this happen. Okay. When the table is ready and you want to enter new data, get some reports, etc., then the part of SQL for this specific purpose is called data manipulation language. This part, data definition language, is generally for data admins and for the professionals who are responsible for the system to work. In this course, we focus on DML, data manipulation language, just like inserting new data, getting data, etc. But you know that there are two parts: data manipulation language for getting and sending data, and data definition language for creating tables. Okay. So let's talk about data manipulation language and some keywords. When you try to update, insert, or delete some records, you use data manipulation language. And these are the four main types of languages or statements of data manipulation language. We start the commands with select if you want to extract data out of the table. If we want to update some data on the table, all the rows and the columns are the same, but just we want to change one or more cells value, then we use the term update. Then delete column, it stands for erasing a row from the table. So when you want to erase one or more rows from the table, then you must start your command with delete command. And insert into, it creates new row in the table. In other terms, it inserts new data into your data table. Today we will focus on these statements. And data definition language, the keywords we use in this part is a little bit different. And as I said before, here we focus on creating tables or changing tables, etc. And if you want to create a new table, then you start your command with create table. If you want to change some table properties, then you go on with alter table. If you want to delete a table, then you can use drop table. And we have some complex components in the database management system called index. And I can easily say that indexes are for making your SQL statement work faster. So you create an index so you get results out of the table very quickly. And you can create indexes with create index, and you can delete or indexes with drop index commands. So as you can see, data definition language is for creating the table. Data manipulation language is for manipulating the data. After you create the table, you start sending data and getting data. This part is called data manipulation language.